Now, if we did not or do not get to your questions on the mailbag or previous live shows, I do have my DMs open, so you can hit me up there as well. At What Going Downey. Next goal is 22,000 followers. Do it for Emmitt Smith, by the way. From Ecuador Man AOG, Deuce Vaughn has no role. Why won't the team cut him? I would. Well, they might cut him. There's no guarantee Deuce Vaughn makes this roster right now. They have open roster spots. They don't need anything. He's also better than Nathaniel Pete is. I think the potential role from Deuce Vaughn could still come as your kind of third down, not short yardage, slightly more juiced up back. He doesn't have elite juice, though. That's the issue. I am also very curious how he gets deployed on special teams, because the kickoff rules have changed. You might need two guys back there with the new rules. Turpin's one of them. Who's the second? Maybe it could end up being Deuce Vaughn. For Blazing Daily, Josh Ball has no trade value. Could we trade offensive line for a running back? First off, remember, Operation White Lie is to convince a team to trade for Josh Ball. So to be clear, Josh Ball was like your fourth best offensive lineman. He's a marvelous human being as well. A team would be lucky if the Dallas Cowboys found a way, to go out and give up Josh Ball for something. So that's Operation White Lie, just so we're clear. As for the rest of that, trading for a running back, maybe. You did draft Matt Waletzko. You did draft Austin Richards. Offensive line play is a significantly valued spot in the NFL because there just aren't very many good ones. So if you can find one, that does start to make sense as a potential option for a team. Now, maybe you don't get a good running back. Maybe you got to attach a pick too, but I think that could be worth considering. From Carter, do you worry at all about Micah / should Dallas consider trading him? Wonder if this is producer Brett's burner account. He wants to trade Micah, by the way. With Micah, there's like 4 guys in NFL history who have had the starts to their NFL career that he has had. The other options are they're all Hall of Famers or they had massive off-the-field stuff like Alden Smith. Micah doesn't have that massive off-the-field stuff. Is it fair to say he's got to mature in general? Sure, absolutely. I would love to see him be more of a leader and a culture setter than I think he's been so far. He's also very young. You have to kind of grow into that role, I think, a little bit. But he's also a very talented football player. I will say this part too. This maybe isn't fair, but we know this will be the reaction to it. If Micah struggles, has a bad game or whatever, or starts slow or the Cowboys lose again, it's going to be, well, why was he in Japan fighting sumo wrestlers? Why is he doing the podcast? There are times I wish Micah Parsons would log off. I think it is better for most NFL players just not be on there because they see it and they hear it and it can get under their skin sometimes. And in Dallas, it's always louder. So I'm not worried about him. I do get some of the general concerns, but he's also like a top 2 defensive player of the year candidate every year. Guys are hard to find. So where would you rank Micah Parsons among NFL defenders? Is he 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Where does he rank? Sound off for me in the comments right now. From Blazing Daily, any chance that no name quarterback makes the team? So I would assume you're referring to the rookie minicamp guy that they picked up, and not like Rush or Lance or anything, which was Hennessy, however you pronounce the last name. I think pretty low. This is a rookie minicamp invite because quite literally, they needed to have somebody in the building to throw passes when they're doing drills and stuff. So I think very, very low. There's a spot. Maybe he looks great, whatever. His dad had a brief stint in the NFL. I'd be pretty darn shocked if he made the Cowboys team, especially the 53-man roster, outside slim chance of even just the 90, because they want to give those reps to Trey Lance. From Nick, why are people calling you Toxic Tom? Well, there is Toxic Tom Downey burner account, which had been spun up when Randy Gregory called the Cowboys fan base toxic, and that was part of the whole stint from that standpoint. I have been fairly negative this offseason. I also know that many of you guys feel the same way. I'm not I wouldn't say that I'm toxic about players, which I think is the real concern when you don't want to have that stuff. I have been very toxic towards the Jones boys, though, and I would say I'm justified. But then again, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't feel justified. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy there. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. The link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Prize Picks is pick more, picks less. That's easy. It's all you have to do. Play your staff projections, 2 to 6 of them. Sometimes they'll give you the demons and the goblins. The demons are the harder to hit projections. Got to get the, it's boosted, but it'll give you a higher payout. Goblins are easier to hit. It's a lower payout. And sometimes they'll give you the free square. You got this available till Tuesday. Caitlin Clark, half a point in her WNBA debut. It's a no-brainer. She might get that on the first possession. In fact, you probably get probably 50% chance he gets it on our first possession, right? They dial up a 3-4 or something crazy. So do that. And you can also pair it with an NBA playoff game or WNBA game or NHL, whatever. They also have season-long NFL prize picks. Passing yards. For both Dak and Patrick Mahomes, I've got the more than. I'm doing the flex on this, by the way, so I can get one wrong and still win. Sacks, more than 12.75 for Micah. More than 9.5 for CeeDee Lamb. It kind of already builds in that injury risk, so they stay healthy, they're going to hit it. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That link's in the comment section and the description of today's show. From Massive Matt says, someone make Meet the Joneses and diss them into trying. Could you imagine? I don't know. I have zero flow, so I'm not the one to do that. Do not go to that next question. Do not go to that next question. That is not. We're not doing that one. That is dirty beyond belief. I can see it in the preview there. It'd be great. I'm sure there's at least one Cowboys content creator that's got good flow and they could find a way to do it. It's not me. DK under the hook. I bet you if we sign Calais Campbell, he'd beat out Mozzie. Change my mind. I don't know if you would want Calais Campbell playing the Mozzie Smith role, but from a rotation snap count perspective, I think he's better right now than Mozzie Smith. So, not at nose guard, but you're not playing Osa 100% of your snaps. You don't want Mozzie out there every third down. He'd probably be like DT2, even if he wasn't even the starter, so to speak. From Brandon, could flipping Luke Schoonmaker for a running back help make sense? I don't hate it. If you could get the right back, I'd probably have interest there. I don't know who that right back would be, by the way. Most teams are in pretty good shape at tight end. Schoonmaker was a mistake pick. With the way that Jake Ferguson came along, it was a mistake. As soon as we realized Jake Ferguson is him and he's going to be he's the second best playmaker on this offense, the value for Schoonmaker is now best case tight end 2. You can't spend a second pick on a tight end 2. So, you can get a blocker from in Brevin Spanford. You have a pass catcher in Hendershot and or John Stevens if he's healthy. I would consider it. Which I hate flipping a second pick after a year, but he's hurt again too, by the way. So are you out on Luke Schoonmaker? This should bring some good questions. Are you out on the former second round pick at tight end? Y for yes, N for no. CT, Tom, what is one trade at any position you feel can make a significant impact and be a piece that you'd say we're good at that spot now? I'd be calling about running backs. I think it's your weakest point on your roster. I thought it was that way going in the draft. Felt that it's still that way right now. You got to get some help there. I can go back to our initial team needs list. It was 1 or 2. I'd call for running backs. I'd call about Khalil Herbert. I kind of am a bit down most on Dameon Pierce. I don't think James Conner's available, but I'd call. he fixes your running back room immediately. $5 per chat from Jeffrey. I forget if it's Bryson or Breeson. I'm going to go with Breeson here. Tom, what's your opinion on the cornerback room as it stands compared to this last season? Do you have your eyes on any quarterbacks in this next year's draft? So, cornerback answer first. It's in good shape. I would be down to bring back Gilmore. I think because you've got Diggs back and healthy, and Bland, and Lewis, and I do like Kalen Carson, I think you're fine right now. You can make it better by adding Gilmore if he wants to come back. Great. Quarterback-wise, you have to. You have 0 guys under contract next year. You have to keep your eyes out on them. That's the problem. The early returns on this class, entire year of football to go, it will change positively and negatively for some guys too, frankly, is it's not a great class. This could be that Kenny Pickett first round, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis third round, Sam Howell fifth round class where none of them are starters. Like that's the downside with this class. And if you're picking like, let's say 23 again, 24 again, how are you going to get the good one without making a massive trade-up? That's my concern long-term when it comes to the quarterback room. Now, if you guys enjoy our mailbags here on the Cowboys Report, thank you. Subscribe so you can tune in, youtube.com/CowboysTV. From Tyler, with Martin retiring soon and Steele being inconsistent, how would you replace them? Would you start Bass and Maletzko, or would you trade/draft? Is there a good right guard, right tackle in next year's class? There will be good offensive linemen. Now, we'll see if one gets to you in round 1, but you've also invested 2 first-round picks on the offensive line. You don't always want to invest a third and draft one, but you should still do it if the right guy's there. TJ Bass stands out to me as a right guard option. I'd give him first crack. And I'm going to give Terrence Steele a year. See how it goes. Give him a year. Allow him to play. And hopefully another year removed from the injury, he'll look more like the guy we saw before he got hurt. And if that guy's back, great. There's your right tackle. Otherwise, they can cut him. And they can look towards trying out a young guy, drafting somebody else, and that becomes a very much open competition spot. Donovan, Marshawn Lattimore trade if the Saints deal him. So initially I thought the Saints wouldn't trade Marshawn Lattimore when they restructured his deal. Great piece on Over the Cap actually laid out a little bit recently that they structured that deal different than like it's normally done. And it wouldn't actually be the Saints paying a bunch of that money. It'd be the new team. So the Saints actually can trade him after June 1st now. In a way that I actually didn't realize they had done that. It's kind of what the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers, by the way. So I was actually wrong on that earlier. My apologies. So he could be traded way more than I thought he could previously because like there would be little savings beyond that. But they might keep him anyway. And the Cowboys aren't going to pay another corner. They're paying Diggs and going to pay Lance in. So, name a player who you want to trade for. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section right now.